Hey everybody, like I always say with these Facebook Live videos, I'm going to give people some time to join us. So I'm just going to say hello and welcome to what cerebral palsy looks like. Tonight I have an exclusive interview with Robyn Cummins from World CP Day. I see that I have my friend Rochelle joining us. Hello. Hi to Heather, thanks for joining me. Like I always say, I'm going to wait to see who joined us here and give people a few minutes to log on and join us before we get started. As you guys know, this is the eve of World Cerebral Palsy Day, so wear green tomorrow. I have my green on today, and it's an exciting time for the 17 million of us in the world who have cerebral palsy. And hey Trevor, how you doing? Nice to see you. Would you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly, or let me know, type if I need to speak louder, if that's an issue.
How do I get it?
So once again, we're just waiting for some more people to join us and for our special guests to join us as well. And you could, those of you who are joining us, please do me a favor and hit the share button, so this will go out and people see that we've already started and they can join us. And thank you for those of you who have shared the event that I created. I appreciate all the shares, and if you invited people that way, I appreciate that. I'm doing well, Trevor. How are you doing? So, trying to think of, well, this has really been an important week for me, and well, now that I said that, our guest has joined us. So now that Robyn is here, I am going to tell you a little bit more about her, and then I'm going to bring her in. Robyn Cummins from World Cerebral Palsy Day joins us from Sydney, Australia. Now celebrated in 62 countries, World CP Day was founded in 2012, and Robyn has been coordinating the global effort since 2013. Robyn has worked for Cerebral Palsy Alliance in Australia for 20 years and is passionate about making a difference in the lives of children and adults with cerebral palsy and their families. She is a communications specialist, community organizer, advocate, self-confessed tech geek, and is excited by the power of the internet to connect people around the cause of cerebral palsy. So now I'm going to invite our guest to join me, and you'll see her face come up on the screen, and I will have a conversation with her. So give me a minute here to invite her. Oh, Robyn, if you can hear me, it says that I can't invite you for some reason, so it might be that setting that I told you about. So if you can type in the comments and tell me if you're using your iPad, or we can try to figure it out. But if I can't actually get you on the screen, I could ask the question and you could type your answer and I could read it. We could do it that way too. So as you guys know, with technology, sometimes you have to improvise, and we might have to do that in this case. So I will give Robyn a chance to respond here and see if we can help her out, see what device she's using and why it won't let me invite her. Okay, so she's gonna try her iPhone, and that'll most likely solve the problem, because with iPads you're supposed to be able to invite guests too. So once she goes to her phone, I should be able to bring her in. So while she's doing that, Aren't you guys excited about tomorrow? It's World CP Day. It's already October. I don't know how that happened, but it's really an exciting global event. And Robyn and everyone on her team, they do a fantastic job. And they don't just work in the month of October. This is what they do all year round. So they're always doing the work that they do. It doesn't stop, and we appreciate everything that they do. And I know you guys have been to their Facebook page and also their website, worldcpday.org. And if you haven't been there, I encourage you to go, because not only do they have a plethora of information, they also have resources, they have actual things that you can change as your profile for World CP Day and a lot of things. So Robyn's on our phone now, and I'm going to invite her. Okay, here we go. There, it's going to... Yes, Robyn, you're going to come up right now.
Hi.
And here is my friend.
My friend
Robyn,
too.
Robyn Cummins from World CP Day, looking beautiful and green. Welcome. And tell everybody, Robyn, what time is it where you are?
It's 10 after 10 a.m. on World Cerebral Palsy Day, October 6th. So we're ahead of the rest of the world.
You're ahead, and she graciously agreed to join me, and this is her work time, and she's coming here to be with all of us, and we appreciate it. So Robyn, if it's okay with you, can I start asking you some of the questions? Okay. So for the people who might be joining us who might not know, what is World CP Day? When is World CP Day? And will it be the same date from now on?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So World Cerebral Palsy Day, as you know, started in 2012. And just to talk about the date to start with, because that's caused a little bit of confusion this year, but in the past it was always the first Wednesday of every month, and that meant that the actual date changed every year. It was the first, then it was the second, then it was the 7th, and that caused a lot of confusion around the world, as you can imagine. And so a lot of people gave us feedback that they would like it to be on a fixed date. So from this year onwards, it will always be on October 6th. And that means it'll be Friday this year, Saturday next year, and so on. But what tends to happen is that all of the organisations and individuals around the world would often end up having their celebrations and events on a day that suited their particular group of people. If it was on a weekend, it might be for a family day or a family picnic in Yogyakarta in Indonesia, whereas, say, the Canchild people in Canada might hold a weekday event like a seminar for clinicians and that kind of thing. So we are really happy if people want to run their event anytime in that first week of October. So that kind of explains the date. But more importantly, I'll just tell you a little bit about why World Cerebral Palsy Day started. It was really an idea that was waiting to happen, and we were surprised that no one had ever tried it before. Because as you know, there are 17 million people with cerebral palsy in the world. And when you think about that, everyone would have at least, 5 or 6 people around them, family members, teachers, clinicians, so on, doctors. So there's probably, we estimate, about another 350 million people who surround someone with cerebral palsy in the world. So it's actually a very big cohort of people. So World Cerebral Palsy Day was an initiative really to give a day to people living with cerebral palsy, a day that we can celebrate the lives and achievements of people with CP, but also really to start creating a social movement for change. So even though we all get together and have a fabulous time on World Cerebral Palsy Day, we wanted something that would endure and something that would really make a difference to the lives of people with CP around the world, irrespective of where they lived. And so that's why the idea of World Cerebral Palsy Day was born. It's a day where we can focus attention and also we can shine a spotlight on some of the really great initiatives that are making a difference for people.
And you have, in a relatively short amount of time, you've made a huge impact.
Yeah,
You really have.
That's what I was thinking. You know, we started with 28 countries in 2012, and it's now 62 countries involved. But it's the diversity of the people that have become engaged with the idea. So it's just lots of people like you, adults who are living with cerebral palsy in the community that perhaps aren't connected into any disability services, but we have found everyone on social media. And then there's doctors, there's teachers, there's the disability services, universities have come on board, schools. It's just extraordinary. We've got researchers who are part of our community who are researching into the best ways to ensure that people with cerebral palsy lead the best possible life. So it's this really rich, diverse community that has been built up, and we now have thousands and thousands of people on our database who are interested in World Cerebral Palsy Day and are doing their bit for cerebral palsy.
And that's extraordinary because it's really a multi-level approach. It's much more than a day, and it's an important day that it's annual, but it's so much more than that. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, so that people could see who you are and understand the enormity of the work that you do. Because I know it's a lot that's behind the scenes, and we see when October comes around, we see the stories and the features from the different countries. I've been sharing them, but this is what you do all the time.
Yeah, well, it is a year-round project, but to be honest, the strength of this whole project is really in the partner organisations and the individuals, people like you, who have gotten behind it and are creating their own kind of small cells of activity and initiatives in local communities around the world. And, you know, from Korea to Nigeria to Norway to Argentina, people are coming forward and saying, I'm going to run this community activity in my community, you know, in my neighborhood or in my country or my region. And it's the accumulation of all of that that has created the movement. So even though we, you know, we help out by providing people with tools and ideas and resources that they can use, really the strength of it is actually lying in all of the individuals and the partner organisations that are making a difference. Yeah,
I agree, and that's how change happens when people come together, and especially large groups of people. That's how you can make real change. And so having said that, you and I actually met in a roundabout way on Facebook, because I believe what happened on my end was one day something popped up, as it does on Facebook somewhere, about World CP Day. I didn't know anything about it. So when I went to your website and I saw the fantastic work that all of you are doing, I actually wrote, I think, 2 articles for Huffington Post. I think one for 2014, and you had, that year it was change, something about the theme, change in 1 minute. It was something like that. Right? And I did an article, and then I think I did one the following year. And we just found each other that way, because I think you saw what I did somehow. And then we actually met each other through Skype, and we had conversations about cerebral palsy and different things to try to improve, you know, advocacy and different aspects of different, you know, getting the word out or perceptions. There's a lot of things involved with that, but So it's pretty cool that now you're here and everybody else gets to meet you
Yeah,
too. And
you're
so,
absolutely right. It was that first, I saw your article in the Huffington Post in 2014 and was really impressed with your writing, and was so excited that you'd gotten behind World Cerebral Palsy Day. But then you posted your story and a link on the World Cerebral Palsy Day map on the website. And I thought, oh gosh, she's somebody I really should get to know. And then I think we exchanged a couple of emails, and then we had some Skypes and really connected. I truly feel that if you were living down the road here in Sydney, I would be
I
having
do.
a coffee with you on Saturday morning.
I do too. I just said to my sister who's here, I said, Robyn's the lady that I want to meet Robyn someday. And
I did.
didn't you, who, oh, well, it was an aside that I actually talked to an Australian journalist, and I think he said, am I going to visit Australia? Somebody, and I was like, I would love to.
Yeah.
And Sydney too, but we're going to have to make that happen one day, Robyn.
We will. We'll definitely.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And we'll just...
And you were so active on social media and so savvy about it. And I think that is such a gift. And then you nominated for the World Cerebral Palsy Day Committee. And I think the other committee members were going, yes, please, we really need somebody like you who has that vast life experience but can really make an impact on social media and write such thoughtful pieces, and that really make a difference and are very shareable for us. So you've been able to contribute enormously through the committee as well. Often the voice of reason in some of the discussions, which is just lovely. Just lovely.
Oh, thank you. It's so kind of you to say.
Oh,
and then one of the most important things that I wanted to make sure that we talked about is the fact that cerebral palsy is the most common disability in childhood. And I wanted to know your thoughts as to why it doesn't get a lot of attention, at least not in the United States. You can enlighten us in other countries if they're doing a better job than we are, but in the media, it's not covered here. How can we change that?
It's interesting. I think sometimes in the media, people like R.J. Mitty really did a huge favour for the cerebral palsy community because he was a person with a disability in a mainstream television project, and then that meant that a lot of people saw it and it kind of normalised it. But getting back to your question, it's really fascinating to work with so many countries and see the difference and the similarities between how cerebral palsy is perceived and what people are doing for cerebral palsy globally. It's fascinating because in some, say African and less developed countries in Asia, there's a lot of superstition attached to having a child with a disability. So children are often hidden away. The parents can sometimes feel quite ashamed because it might indicate, for some reason that there was some past indiscretion or the child is even bewitched, which we find extraordinary. So the children are often hidden away and they're not allowed to participate in their communities. They're
even now in 2017.
Yeah. So even now they're not allowed to participate in school. They don't get the treatment and the therapy that they need. They're not given any opportunities. So we see that. But then we see, on the other hand, some extraordinary organisations working in Africa, based in Africa. And again, I tip my hat off to some of the organisations in Nigeria, Benola, but I don't want to name them all, but in South Africa and Uganda and Kenya, there are some extraordinary organisations who have just started at a very grassroots level. They're often led by parents and they are getting out there. And so in places like that, sometimes it's a human rights issue. So they're on the streets marching for World Cerebral Palsy Day to kind of shout out, we are here. But what's interesting is that in what I would call more developed countries like the Netherlands and Canada and the UK and Australia and the USA, there's still a huge amount of barriers for people with a disability and with cerebral palsy from really leading the best possible life. There's attitudinal barriers, there's legislative barriers, and then there's, you know, physical barriers. Often I think people focus on, you know, the built environment and access, and we've made great strides in that area, but gosh, you know, the level of unemployment amongst people with a disability in the US and in Australia is 5 times, you know, the people who don't have a disability. We've still got a long way to go in that area, and I think part of our challenge is moving the message beyond the 1 degree of separation. So often people with cerebral palsy will influence and connect with those around them. And once people get to know someone, their attitude changes completely. And they often become an advocate for you. But our challenge is moving beyond that and creating sort of change at a global, you know, a national and a global level. But I think we're well on our way to doing that, and I think I shared with you what has happened in Australia in recent years for all people with a disability. In the past, all of the services were offered almost in a welfare charity kind of model. So you know, you got the therapy and you got the support you need, but you were really lucky, you know, you're lucky you're getting it, and you were very much a second-class citizen. And now, through a campaign called Every Australian Counts, we now have a national disability insurance scheme which is being rolled out across the country, and it's a little bit like a universal healthcare system, but it means anyone who acquires a disability either before birth or under the age of 65 will be covered in
under the age of 65.
Under the age of 65.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's important for people to know, because normally that would never happen in the United States.
Yeah.
There's like a cutoff, you know what I mean? Like
well,
things, but
between the age of birth and 65, you are covered for everything you will need to lead an ordinary life. So that includes therapy and supports. It includes, you know, recreation and social and equipment and technology and anything that you need, depending on the level of severity of your disability, you will have the right to access that, and you'll be given notionally a bucket of money each year to spend on the services that will help you reach your goals. But I think the key to it is that Every Australian Counts campaign was the power of that campaign was the ordinary people. So what they did is get ordinary people with cerebral palsy, people with autism, they got them out in the streets and they got them visiting their local members of parliament. So, you know, our version of your congressman. And they met them in their offices and they just talked about what their life was like. And the power of that around the nation was so overwhelming that it was the only piece of legislation that's been passed in Australia in recent years of this significance that has had bipartisan approval. So if you can imagine both the Republicans and the Democrats voting for it, that's what happened in Australia. And now it's rolled out. It's not perfect by any means, but it's going to make a huge difference and is already making a huge difference. But it was people power, people getting behind a campaign. So you take hope from that because it can be done.
Can you send, however this happened, can you send some of these people here to America?
They would
show us how it can be done?
Yeah, they'd be really happy to share their learnings, I'm sure. You just have to go to Every Australian Counts. Just Google that and you'll see what the campaign was all about. We also have a story about Bruce Bonner-Haiti, who sort of spearheaded the campaign on the World Cerebral Palsy Day website. So, yeah.
WorldCPDay.org, everybody. That's where
right.
you can go.
Yeah.
And also, while I'm on that topic, you have a blog there, correct?
So this is the way people can get involved throughout the year. We invite guest blog posts from people just talking about something that is meaningful to them, some achievement, or some story about something that they're trying to achieve, we're always looking out for guest blog posts and guest bloggers. So please, get in touch
throughout the year. Throughout the year,
Yeah.
they can submit. I think they can also submit. There's guidelines that you'll read on the website, videos. There's different categories.
Right.
So all my friends who are watching, I know many of you have cerebral palsy. You have incredible stories. Please go to their website, go to the blog section, and submit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you can always contact me via the Contact Us page on the website if you want to ask any questions or whatever. But we have a really active Facebook page, and one of my goals for this year, we have about 19,400 Facebook likes on that. And so one of my goals this year is to
get to 20,000.
So please encourage your friends to go and like that Facebook page so we can get up over the 20,000. And we share stories and videos around the year, and people can contribute around the year on that page.
Oh, for everybody listening, that's easy. We can help Robyn achieve that goal.
Fantastic.
Get her to 20,000 Facebook likes on their page. They have a great page. I know you guys visit, and a lot of you post it on there, and they read our posts and they share them. They've shared mine. They've shared several of yours. So after we're done here, go to their Facebook page, share the link, and tell everybody for World CP Day that you're asking them if they know you and they love you, or they know anybody with CP. All they have to do is click like for that page.
Right, that's right.
For
That would
World
be great.
CP Day.
Yeah, people.
And while they're at it, tell them to like my page too, what cerebral palsy looks like.
Absolutely.
We'll just all support each other in the CP community. That's what we do.
Yeah. That's been my takeaway from this is the strength of the CP community. There's people out there, and that's why we had the anthem line for the campaign, I am here and we are here, because people feel as if they're invisible. They're there in their communities, but they feel invisible. So one of the things that we're doing as a bit of a fun competition this year is that we're encouraging people to download this placard.
Oh, yeah.
From the World Cerebral Palsy Day website, and take a photo of themselves with it and share that on Instagram or on their own Facebook page with the hashtag World CP Day. And we're giving away $50 Amazon vouchers to a whole bunch of people who are doing that. So that's one thing you could do today.
Yes, everybody, I know you guys are on Instagram because I follow you there, so we can do that. That's easy. And the what you held up, people would go to worldcpday.org, and it's under the resources. Which section is it?
Tools. Yeah,
tools. Yeah, under tools.
Yeah, and it's placards, and you can download one. They're just PowerPoint or Word documents. You can download one where you can put in your own message about what you want to tell the world. Or you can download a plain one like that. So. And
you want them to be, can you repeat it again for people who might have just joined us? What do you want them to do with that?
Sure. I want you to download the placard, so print it out, or even just having it on your phone or your iPad. That's what a lot of people do. Take a selfie with it, post it to Instagram or Facebook, but or post it on the World CP Day Facebook page would be even better, and I'll share that. But make sure you put the hashtag World CP Day, and then we'll spot that, and then we're giving away $50 Amazon vouchers to a group of the people with some of the best. I'm going to
ask my audience, press the heart button if that's something that you're going to do for Robyn and show support for World CP Day. Press the heart button and tell us that you're going to take the selfie and use the hashtag World CP Day and post it on Instagram. And let's see what we can do and help her get to 20,000 likes on their page too. I know you are short on time. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Okay, well, I wanted to know, now that you talked about that, that's something they can do to get involved. What about the World CP Day map that you have? What is that, and how can people participate in that?
So this was a way we thought was a good way to get people's stories and hear about people around the world, and show the strength and the scale of the World CP Day community. So we have a map that's linked from the homepage of the website. You can go to that map, and you can have a little bit of a fun by clicking on all the little markers on it and reading people's stories. But then you can also share your story. So we want to know, you know, your name, and we want a photo of you, and then we want a little bit of a description about you and what you want the world to know. And then you can also link, if you've got a website or a blog or anything like that, you can link to that as well from that page. And thousands and thousands of people have put their story up on the map already. And I think it's last count, it was 90 different countries have posted their stories on the map, which is just astonishing. And it's okay to post in Chinese or Polish or whatever, it's fine. Your native language is fine, but we're just uncovering the best stories, and we're finding some initiatives like an incredible group called Simbi Athletic in Vancouver in Canada, who are doing amazing work to ensure that people with cerebral palsy and disabilities engage in really big marathon type runs and competitions, and even things like Tough Mudder, which, if you know Tough Mudder, is absolutely amazing. So often we'll cherry pick some of those stories out and we'll share them on our Facebook page. And in some instances, we've actually done a full-blown story or a blog post about them. So it's kind of a way of getting your name out there as well. So really encourage everyone to do that.
You guys do excellent work with your stories, not only because you happen to have asked me to do a guest blog post, but I would read your features before I even met you and your site, and you really do an excellent job with the people that you choose and the in-depth information. And I wanted because you reminded me of something. Don't you have a newsletter that people can subscribe to?
So when you post your story on the map, you can click whether you can tick whether you want to be kept in touch and you're on the newsletter. If you don't want to put the story on the map, you can still sign up for news at the base of the page of the website page. So the other big thing that's happening today that I'll just sort of mention before we close is the first World Cerebral Palsy Day awards are being announced today. So if you recall, I mentioned in the beginning, you know, we're really after this, our vision is really to discover some of the projects and campaigns that are really making a difference for people with cerebral palsy around the world and showcase them to the world. So we launched these awards at the beginning of the year and asked for nominations, and we had 114 nominations. We were just overwhelmed by them, and they were all the most extraordinary quality. So it was really, really tough, but we've now got 6 major award winners and 14 merit award winners, and we'll be sharing the announcement of that in just a short amount of time, and we've got stories on every one of those winners. So I really encourage everyone who supports this community to share the news when we post those winners on Facebook. Please share those news, because the amount of effort that's gone into the projects, it's such a shame that we can't reward every single person that entered in every single organisation, but we're going to encourage them to enter again next year. But there is some very heartwarming and extraordinary work going on. And so just in a few hours, we'll be sharing that announcement.
On your Facebook page?
Facebook.
That's where you're going?
The website.
Facebook?
Yep.
The website. Okay, so everybody,
Twitter.
we're going to go there and check that out, because I was going to ask you to talk about that too real quick. So is there a final word of a call to action, what you want people to remember about World CP Day? And well, actually the question that I like to ask everybody is, what does cerebral palsy look like to you?
Great question.
However that means to you, you can take it any way you want, but What does it look like to you?
While you're doing that, I'll put in the link to the World Cerebral Palsy.
Yes, I was gonna say, because I can't do it on my phone while she's thinking of how to answer my questions. Because people are asking, do you have a link? Because I'm reading the comments. So if you would, Robyn, put the link to your website.
Well, if I just type in it's worldcpday.org, so you can also do that. Well,
and people are also commenting that they wish that it was the way you were describing about from the ages of birth to 65 and the resources that are available to people with CP, that they had that here in the United States and also in Canada. Heather Hancock says it's not like that in Canada either.
No.
I see that your comment, there's the link, I see it. So people will see that in the comments.
Yeah.
And okay, I think there isn't any other questions for me to ask you from people who are watching, but they were just commenting on part of our discussion. So now you can answer what CP looks like to you.
For me, because I've worked for Cerebral Palsy Alliance for more than 20 years, I guess it's much more than a job for me. And it's an extraordinary organisation, and everyone who works here is so behind the cause of cerebral palsy, and that's really around empowering people with CP to lead the best possible life, and we're all doing everything that we can to make that happen. And with World Cerebral Palsy Day, this is just a fabulous opportunity, and I feel really, really privileged to be able to work.
Do you have any job opportunities? Can I come move to Sydney and work for you?
Well, when we grow and we get more funding, we can operate as a virtual team, I think.
You know I'm going to hold you to that.
We're always providers.
And I specifically want to thank you because you told me that this is your first Facebook Live ever.
It is.
You don't do Facebook Lives.
I have never done.
So Rob,
lots of our comms team have done lots of Facebook Lives, but I've never done one. So it's apart from the little bit of a hiccup at the front, but at the beginning. But luckily, I have so many devices I can switch to one of the other ones that seem to work in the end.
Well, I'm honored because it was an exclusive for me, and I'm honored that
Thank
you said yes. And we knew that there's a lot more discussion to be had, and that people would be interested in what we had to say and discuss. And everybody wear green tomorrow.
Please do.
Go to worldcpday.org. Go to the tools section.
Yep.
Robyn's gonna hold up that placard once again. I am here. Print it out or put it on your phone. Take a selfie. Go to Instagram, post it, hashtag World CP Day, and they have that giveaway you said for the $50 Amazon, and that's how you are like entered by doing this, right?
Yeah, all we do is
selfie.
Yeah, we'll find the hashtag World CP Day, and we'll choose about 10 of the best photos, and we'll be rewarding people. I'll probably private message them on Facebook or find their email address.
Right.
Yeah.
And after you do that, go to their Facebook page, press the share button, share the link, ask all of your friends to like the page. Those are the two things that I would request that you do. And if you like what I'm doing here on World, what CP looks like, and I'm going to be bringing page and share it out too. And hopefully we'll have Robyn on again sometime whenever she wants, and we'll talk about other issues that are affecting people with cerebral palsy all around the world. So I want to just say, Robyn, you're my friend. You're my colleague. We've known each other for a while, and I'm honored that I'm on your first ever World Cerebral Palsy Day committee. And your people can apply.
Yeah, we'll be calling for nominations again in a few months, so people can definitely apply to roll the committee over for next year. And look, Nicole, thank you, because you're my hero. I just think you're amazing, and I feel I'm so glad that I was able to do my first Facebook Live with somebody who is so gentle and nurturing.
Me too. And get your guest room ready, because I'm coming to Australia.
Well, have a great day.
You too. Have a great day, and you're gonna have a successful World CP Day. We're all looking forward to everything you do on the page, and we're gonna help you, and you're gonna get to those 20,000 likes and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.